On this week's episode,
Sorry.
saturation.
My entire YouTube feed is Angine De Poitrine reaction videos. So, shoot me. Well, good day to you one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and this is Justin Hawkins Rides Again. Today I'm talking about saturation, because apparently the YouTube algorithm is flooded and the reaction community is to blame. It's our fault. I love being part of this community. Justin Hawkins Rides Again. Probably won't need this till the end. Pop it on the old stand there, that's it. Nice. Okay, so after my last episode, there were complaints. I mean, actual complaints. It seems that every YouTube reviewer, from Rick Beato, Wings of Pegasus, Phil, I'll be speaking to him later this week, Danny Sapko, and everyone in between was talking about Angine De Poitrine. But no, of course, nobody but I can pronounce it correctly. Anyway, Radaos said, my entire YouTube feed is Angine De Poitrine reaction videos. Probably didn't type it in that voice, but you know what I mean. Rick said that Angine De Poitrine is what he imagined the future of music to be.
This is what I imagined the future of music would be.
And that he'd been waiting a long time.
I've been waiting for this for a long time.
But in your comments, and there were quite a few of them, I must admit, in fact, a lot of people said they could hear influences from the past.
Right?
And some even used the word derivative. Like anything in music isn't at the moment. So I'm going to look at some of the bands that you mentioned and see if I can connect the dots. First up, Primus. Primus did this years ago. And then Catfish 107 said, this is the future, we were Primused. Good comment. Both of those good comments, actually. I used to love Primus, actually. Sailing the Seas of Cheese and all that. Remember that record? With Jerry was a race car driver. And I did hear a bit of Primus in some of the other Angine tracks from Volume 1. Not so much in the one I covered, or the one I reacted to in my episode, and certainly not in things like Sherpa. But there are a couple of things where I can hear the Primus. I'm just going to watch this and see what you lot are on about. Yeah, okay, I can hear the similarities, actually. I understand the comparison. It's slightly different now. I think Primus is less loopy, layery, and I love Les Claypool's bass playing. I think he's extraordinary. An extraordinarily gifted individual, great groove, and just plays notes that nobody else would think to play, I suppose. And I don't know whether it's operating in microtones, but when you've got that slide stuff, you can occupy the space between the semis anyway. So yeah, okay, fair point, I think. And then the next band that you guys earmarked as potentially being inspirational, Clowncore. So love to see a double header with Clowncore, said B. Trevelyan. And then Doctor Who 8 said, if Monty Python and Clowncore had a baby in Quebec. Now that's not a bad comment, actually, because the Quebec part is on account of their being from the French part of Canada, which is how you pronounce Canada. Clowncore's more blast beats and saxophony, but I'm going to watch a bit of it and show you what I'm talking about. So here's Hell from the album Toilet. There are a lot of similarities to Clowncore in the sense that has that weird sort of dissonant note with a lot of beating on that synthesizer part that's playing the upper lead section, and also an incredible drummer. Nobody knows who Clowncore are, and we may never know. I was lucky enough to see them in Berlin last year or the year before, and I thought they were fucking amazing, like a really, really great band. But I was largely impressed by the fact that they can do that stuff, and it's super accomplished and really, really strange, but masked, presumably slightly unsighted as well. So yeah, I can see this in that it's anonymous, it's accomplished, and has interesting time signatures and weird sounds. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. I don't know why we're doing this, really. I mean, if you have more than one influence, then you're already a step ahead, aren't you, from most of the stuff in the music trade right now. It's all so shit, isn't it? And I'm only having a laugh. I love it, really. Music's great. Frank Zappa and Captain Beefheart, particularly the latter's 1969 album, Trout Mask Replica. Eric Stock said, Captain Beefheart, Zappa, you can dance to. I think there's something about Trout Mask Replica about this, says Andy Pamateur. Here we go. Captain Beefheart and his magic band. So the first song is Frauland, and the top comment under this says, Frownland was the first dance at my wedding reception, a fact my ex actually cited in our subsequent divorce. I regret nothing. Brilliant. I don't know much about Captain Beefheart.
I cannot go back to your land of gloom, where black jagged shadows remind me of the coming of your doom.
I love it. I mean, that's obviously awesome. I think there was, when I first played, I played like one of the other tracks from Angine De Poitrine's Volume 1 to my brother, and I was talking to him about microtones, and he said, well, it's just an out-of-tune guitar, which I think is the case in the Captain Beefheart one. Sorry, not to be reductive. I mean, an out-of-tune guitar can be incredibly effective. I always talk about the space between the notes and how important it is to occupy those sometimes, and how that kind of gives you a bit of character, especially as a singer. No human being in real life sings perfectly in tune. It's only the ones that use auto-tune that sound like that. And they don't really sound like singers, do they? So yeah, I think the same applies to guitar playing almost. And then here's a lovely comparison. Cardiacs kind of reminds me of On Land and in the Sea by the Cardiacs. Different sound, but all that structure and signature change nonsense. On Land and in the Sea and Little Man in a House and the Whole World Window are two brilliant Cardiacs records, but I don't think they're nonsense in that sense. They probably are. There's probably a bit of Dadaism in there, very stream of consciousness-y, and there are some interesting time signatures, but it's mostly 4/4 in all honesty. But what's weird about Cardiacs is the chord intervals that they use, I think. Cardiacs meets Primus. Give it all to me. I'll take everything you have of that. If that's what this is, I'll take all of it. I love Cardiacs. I'm a huge Cardiacs fan. I love Tim Smith's music, and I think if you analyse the reason why I like Angine De Poitrine so much, there probably is an echo of Cardiacs in it, and I obviously adore a lot of their material. So yeah, if that's, I mean, you're in a good place if you're talking about stuff like Clowncore, Zappa, Beefheart, Cardiacs, and then there's battles as well. Somebody said, Mark Soliday actually, with no competitors, said battles anyone's. So I'll have a look at this. Don't know what battles is actually. I can't believe 7.1 million people have watched this and I've never seen it before. What's happening to me? This is right up my Strasser. Why didn't you tell me about this? Come on, guys. Well, I like that. I don't really hear too much of Angine in it, but I'm noticing that the first comment on this battles thing mentions Angine De Poitrine. And then somebody else said the drummer's crash cymbal might as well be at the peak of Mount Everest, which is a great point. Okay, so then after that we've got Tool, Gang of Four, and King Crimson. It's like King Crimson of the Discipline era and Gang of Four had a weird child. Brilliant. There's a lot of child making happening in this as well, isn't there? Pat Wilson said, wow, this is fantastic. Tool and Kim Crimson have a baby. What did everyone imagine that there's some sort of intimate liaison happening between other Dadaist bands? I've never listened to King Crimson before, to my eternal shame. This guy's got an unbelievable fucking voice. What a singer. And what a haircut. There are many others as well. Mike Oldfield, The Residents, King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard, Punishment of Luxury, and Polymath. And of course, comments about Mr. Blobby, the Teletubbies, the Clangers, and from MC ZG, a part at about 8 minutes reminds me of the Grange Hill intro for some reason. Yeah. And then you've got The Bill. I don't know if you remember The Bill. That had an interesting time signature and was also a TV theme tune. Like in the olden days, TV theme tunes weren't this asinine kind of boring stuff that you get nowadays. So listen to this. What a fucking amazing piece of music. They don't make TV themes like that anymore unless Angine De Poitrine is doing it. So I put it to you that none of your comparisons hold any water. The one thing that they're really a lot like is the theme from The Bill from 1988 to 1997. Because it's 7/4. So shoot me. What can I tell? Sue me. Don't shoot me. Don't sue me. Don't do anything. Just accept. Anyway, I always say this, like sometimes you see a band that everyone's all excited about and they really only sound like and look like a particular band, usually from the early 70s, and one album of that particular band, and they base their whole thing on it. And I always say try and introduce a second influence and sort of, change it. Because all of music is derivative. I've talked about the number of notes we have available to us, and just exploring microtones immediately makes people draw comparisons to all this other stuff here. And also experimenting with unusual time signatures and so on. But the reality is that when something groundbreaking comes like that, we should be grateful for it, really, because I will now go and listen to King Crimson, and that's a band that I've never bothered to try and educate myself about before, but because of this Angine stuff, now there's a really exciting, body of work that I can explore from 1982 that I was hitherto unaware of. So thank you, Angine. Thank you, everybody else, for your comments. And I think if you're drawing influence from 8 or 9 different places and adding your own thing to it, you're doing something right. And I do believe that Angine represents somewhat the future of music, because everyone's bored with the 12 semitones and the usual patterns and building blocks that have come to be tropes and indeed dull, to be honest. There's a reason why this stuff is catching fire, and it isn't because they copied Captain Beefheart. That's not it. That's not it, guys. Anyway, use the comment section below. Tell me more. Give me more of your theorizing. And I'm going to play the theme tune. Nice. Justin Hawkins, Justin Hawkins writes again. Microtone again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Watch one of these 2 videos. And listen to Cardiacs and King Crimson. That's how I intend to spend the rest of my afternoon. I'll see you cats on the ice. That's right. Okay.